We live in a world where technology is advancing faster than ever before. It's changing every aspect of our lives, how we work, communicate, and even how we think. And with every new invention, more and more questions arise, questions we don't have clear answers to. What is right? What is acceptable in a world where every step we take could lead to unpredictable consequences? How should we live in an era where our lives are controlled by algorithms, and decisions that were once made by people are now carried out by machines? What happens if the technologies that promise to improve our world actually threaten our future? Today, we're going to discuss the moral dilemmas behind these advancements and how we can maintain our humanity in a world full of technology. 1. Artificial intelligence, friend or foe? Artificial intelligence is one of the most ambitious and controversial technologies of today. Over the past few decades, we have witnessed the rapid growth of AI's capabilities. What once seemed like science fiction is now becoming a part of our everyday lives, with AI being applied in medicine, business, education, transportation, and even in the arts. In some cases, AI already surpasses humans in speed and accuracy when it comes to decision-making and task execution. For instance, in the field of disease diagnosis such as cancer, AI can analyze medical images faster and more accurately than an experienced doctor, which undoubtedly saves lives. However, with the development of AI come questions that cannot be ignored. One of the main moral dilemmas is who will be held responsible for the actions of artificial intelligence. If AI makes a decision that leads to catastrophic consequences, who will take the blame? For example, what happens if an autonomous vehicle, making decisions based on algorithms, accidentally hits a pedestrian? Or if AI makes a mistake in a hospital diagnosis that worsens the patient's condition? Clearly, the responsibility for such actions cannot be solely placed on the developers of the algorithms. The question remains, can a machine be held accountable for its actions? Or in the end, does responsibility always lie with the people who create these systems? Moreover, AI is becoming increasingly autonomous, which raises new questions. We are all used to technology being a tool used by people to achieve specific goals. But what if AI starts acting independently, without human intervention? With each passing day, AI is becoming smarter, more adaptable, and capable of making decisions that once seemed impossible for a machine. It can not only learn from vast amounts of data, but also adapt, changing its actions based on the situation. While these technologies hold immense potential, they can also lead to unpredictable consequences. For instance, autonomous combat machines are already being developed in the military, capable of making decisions about the use of force without human involvement. Of course, strict rules regulate the use of military force, and these rules require that decisions ultimately be made by humans. But with the advancement of AI, the question arises, what if an algorithm makes a decision in situations where a human can't intervene quickly enough, such as in an emergency? Who will be responsible for the consequences of such decisions? AI is also being used in other fields where even small errors can lead to catastrophic consequences. In the judicial system, for example, systems are being developed that can analyze cases and predict what kind of sentence will be handed down in a given situation. The idea is to improve fairness by eliminating human errors and biases. But what if such a system turns out to be flawed? What if an algorithm analyzing information about a defendant makes a decision that doesn't take all nuances into account? How can we trust a system with people's fates that has no moral principles and cannot factor in the emotional aspect of each case? Moreover, one of the biggest threats is that AI could be used to manipulate people. We are already seeing examples of algorithms on social media directing users to specific information, creating the illusion of choice while actually manipulating their opinions. This could be used for commercial purposes, such as targeted advertising, or for political purposes. And if AI can predict how a person will respond to certain content, this could lead to dangerous consequences for democracy and free will. One of the most dangerous aspects of using AI is its ability to predict human behavior. Algorithms can analyze vast amounts of data about users, from their purchases and interests to their social media activity and search queries. This allows for the creation of detailed profiles of individuals, their needs, and even their future actions. This opens up the possibility for manipulation, not to mention that such technologies could be used to violate privacy and personal freedom. Nevertheless, despite all these risks, there are undeniable benefits that come with the development of AI. It can significantly increase productivity, reduce costs, and help solve complex problems in science and medicine. For example, in the fight against cancer, AI can analyze millions of data points and identify patterns that the human eye might miss. In the field of ecology, AI could help optimize resource use and minimize waste. Overall, artificial intelligence holds the promise of vastly improving the quality of life if used properly. However, to achieve this, AI development must be accompanied by clear ethical guidelines and standards. At present, the global community has not yet developed a unified stance on how to use AI safely and effectively. It is important that AI developers consider moral and ethical issues during the creation of such technologies, and that strict laws regulating their use be put in place. Otherwise, we risk encountering a situation where AI starts to control our lives, and we are left as passive observers, unable to stop the process. To avoid this, active participation from governments, businesses, and society as a whole is necessary when creating and applying technologies. On a global scale, international agreements need to be developed to regulate AI usage and ensure human rights protection. It is important to remember that, no matter how powerful and useful technologies may be, they remain tools, and how this tool is used depends on us. The development of AI is not only about technological progress, but also about the moral and ethical standards that we are willing to embrace in the future. The moral choice humanity faces is to find a balance between technological development and the preservation of human values. In the end, artificial intelligence must serve us, not the other way around. Only in this way can we fully benefit from its advantages without risking losing control over our future. 2. Big data. How technology manipulates our choices. In recent decades, data-driven technologies have become the foundation of many business models and political strategies. A few years ago, the term big data seemed distant and somewhat incomprehensible to most, but today it has become an integral part of our lives. Systems that analyze vast amounts of data can predict what we will buy tomorrow, how we will vote in elections, and even what emotions we will experience in the next few minutes. But what happens when these technologies are used not to improve our experiences, but to manipulate our choices? How does personal data play a role in this, and where is the line drawn between personalized service and manipulation of our consciousness? Much of the information we encounter daily is not only created by us, but also by various algorithms tracking our actions online. Everything we do on the web, from simple search queries to likes on social platforms, leaves a trace that can be analyzed. This data is then used to create detailed user profiles, allowing for highly accurate predictions of behavior. However, while commercial companies use this data to sell products, in politics and social matters, such data can be used for more significant purposes, manipulating public opinion. With big data, political analysts can precisely tailor their advertising campaigns to target the right audience. Using data from social media, they can create ads that perfectly align with the psychology of each user. This allows them to convince voters of the correctness of a particular political stance or candidate. As a result, many people vote not consciously, but because of pre-calculated and carefully thought-out manipulations based on their individual psychographic characteristics. One of the most vivid examples of such use of big data was the interference in the 2016 US elections, when the company Cambridge Analytica used data from millions of Facebook users without their consent. This data allowed them to build individualized political campaigns targeting voters in critical swing states, focusing on their emotional and social vulnerabilities. As a result, the election process became the subject of heated debates about how democratic and fair it was. Although Cambridge Analytica ceased operations, the fact that elections could be so easily manipulated was a worrying signal to society. Furthermore, big data can not only manipulate political preferences, but also influence our everyday decisions, from purchases to leisure activities. Many online platforms use algorithms to predict which product or service we will buy next. These algorithms analyze our past purchases, preferences, and even how we interact with various advertisements. This creates an illusion of free choice, while in reality, we are constantly influenced by invisible but powerful forces that shape our decisions to fit predetermined patterns. Yet, users are often unaware of how much their behavior is controlled by algorithms. We believe we are making decisions on our own, but in fact, there is a predictable map of our preferences, which big data uses to influence us. Few people realize that every click or view is part of an algorithm that causes them to buy or think a certain way. An example is the news that is shown to us on social media feeds. Algorithms analyze which topics we discuss most, what we click on, and ultimately show us content that aligns with our views and beliefs. This leads to the filter bubble effect, where users only encounter limited perspectives and remain within a confined circle of information, impacting their opinions and decision-making. At the same time, the data about us can be used in more complex manipulation schemes. For instance, by analyzing behavior online, companies can predict not only our needs but also our emotional and psychological states. Such data can be used to create personalized advertisements that target our emotions, encouraging us to make purchases or vote for particular candidates. While this process is a powerful tool for marketers, it raises serious ethical questions, as it affects our freedom of choice without our awareness. Nevertheless, the use of big data is not always negative. When such technologies are applied to improve customer service or provide people with useful information, they can be highly beneficial. For example, data analysis can help companies predict user needs and offer them products they genuinely want to buy, or improve healthcare by predicting disease outbreaks and helping take preventive measures. However, when big data is used with the goal of manipulation and hidden influence over individuals, it becomes a tool of control. Thus, it becomes clear that big data not only changes markets and politics, but also directly influences the behavior and perceptions of each individual. In a context where this data is used for manipulation, there is an urgent need to develop clear regulations and laws to prevent abuse. It is essential that people understand how and why their data is being used, as well as the potential consequences of how it can be turned against their interests. Without this, we risk living in a world where our choices are dictated not by our own minds, but by the algorithms controlling our consciousness from behind the scenes. The need for regulation of big data usage, transparency in the handling of personal data, and the creation of ethical standards in this area becomes a critical task for governments, businesses, and society as a whole. Technologies must serve people, not manipulate them. 3. Robots and automation, threat to jobs or opportunity for a new era. In recent decades, we have witnessed the rapid development of technologies that inevitably affect the labor market. One of the most controversial and widely discussed aspects of this technological progress is the introduction of robots and automation. From factory assembly lines to office jobs, robots are increasingly replacing humans in a number of industries. While some perceive this as a threat to jobs, others believe that automation is an opportunity for humanity to enter a new stage of development. This issue is on the agenda for global economists, social scientists, and politicians, as the consequences may have a profound impact on the economy, society, and the very nature of work. One of the brightest examples of automation is in the manufacturing industry. Factories and plants, where thousands of workers used to toil, are now becoming increasingly robotized. On production lines, robots perform tasks that once required human labor, such as assembly, welding, packaging, and quality control. This allows companies to significantly increase production efficiency, reduce costs, and avoid mistakes inherent in human labor. However, on the other hand, such changes can lead to mass job cuts, causing anxiety among many workers, especially in developing countries, where labor constitutes a major part of the economy. As robots and automation are implemented, many professions that were once considered stable and in demand are beginning to disappear. The automotive industry, for example, now relies on robots to perform tasks that were once only available to humans. Truck drivers and taxi drivers may also face the threat of being replaced by autonomous vehicles. As robots become increasingly independent and algorithms become more sophisticated, there is concern that they could replace not only physical labor, but also many intellectual professions. For instance, robotic systems can easily analyze large volumes of data, which already threatens professionals in finance, marketing, and analytics. However, automation should not be viewed solely as a threat. Modern experts are confident that technology can also open up new horizons for development. While automation reduces the need for some professions, it also creates new opportunities in other fields. With the advancement of robotics and artificial intelligence, jobs related to the development and maintenance of these technologies are becoming increasingly in demand. For example, engineers, programmers, data specialists, and robot operators. These professions are seeing growing demand. Furthermore, as physical labor decreases, people have the chance to focus on more creative and intellectual tasks. Not all professions will be replaced by robots. There are fields where human qualities such as creativity, empathy, and social skills remain invaluable. In healthcare, for instance, automation can assist with diagnostics, surgeries, or data processing. But the role of doctors or nurses, their ability to understand patients and make decisions in complex situations, is unlikely to be completely replaced by machines. Similarly, in creative professions such as art, music, or literature, humans remain unique creators, despite all the capabilities of artificial intelligence. Moreover, automation can significantly improve working conditions for many people. Workers engaged in dangerous or physically demanding jobs may have the opportunity for safer work, and routine and monotonous tasks, such as sorting goods in warehouses or packaging, can be handed over to robots. In this context, automation becomes not so much a threat, but an opportunity to improve the quality of life and enhance working conditions. Another important aspect of automation is its potential to increase productivity and accelerate innovation. Robots can work around the clock without fatigue, allowing for significant reductions in production time and improvements in product quality. Innovations that once took decades to develop can now be implemented in years and sometimes even months. This creates a strong incentive for rapid technological development, enhancing people's lives and improving services across various sectors. However, despite all the potential benefits, the process of automation raises a number of issues related to social adaptation and the redistribution of labor. The introduction of robots into mass production and service sectors may lead to rising unemployment and a decline in quality of life for those who cannot adapt to the changes. Many countries will face the need to retrain workers and redistribute the workforce, as well as tackle issues of social inequality. As a result, if robotization and automation are not properly integrated into societal and economic structures, the consequences could be far from straightforward. One possible solution is the creation of new social models, such as universal basic income, which could help support those who are negatively affected by mass automation. This approach is already being discussed in some countries, and its implementation could become an important step in society's adaptation to new realities. It is crucial that economic changes and the labor market evolve in tandem with social policies aimed at helping people whose professions are at risk of disappearing. Thus, the question of whether robotization is a threat or an opportunity remains open. In the future, technology could both threaten traditional jobs and open new horizons for personal and social progress. It is essential for society to recognize the challenges associated with automation in time and develop strategies that minimize negative consequences and fully harness the positive potential of robots and artificial intelligence. 4. Virtual reality and metaverses. A retreat from reality or a new era of communication? Over the years, virtual reality, VR, and metaverses have gained immense popularity, expanding their reach not only in the entertainment industry, but also in education, business, and interpersonal communication. With VR, we can immerse ourselves in completely different worlds, interact with digital characters, and experience situations that would be impossible to recreate in real life. Metaverses, on the other hand, are vast virtual spaces where users can create avatars, communicate, work, play, and even conduct business. However, amid this technological progress, an important question arises. Is immersion in these virtual worlds a retreat from reality, or is it a step toward a new era of human communication and interaction? On one hand, virtual reality and metaverses allow people to escape the limitations of the physical world. We can travel anywhere on the planet, journey through time, meet people from different countries and cultures, all without leaving the comfort of our homes. This freedom offered by VR seems like an appealing way to escape real-world problems, such as stress, loneliness, boredom, or even the inability to interact with others due to social barriers. In these virtual worlds, one can be anyone, live a life that wouldn't be possible in reality. For example, you can build a successful career, become a famous influencer, or explore fantastic realms without worrying about physical or financial limitations. However, on the other side, there are concerns that excessive engagement with virtual worlds may lead to detachment from the real world and even cause psychological issues. During the COVID-19 pandemic and global isolation, many people began to use virtual worlds as a form of social compensation, filling the void left by restrictions. Instead of real-life meetings and interactions, people started depending more on avatars and digital personas, which may lower the quality of interpersonal relationships. Virtual communication, while captivating, cannot fully replace face-to-face interaction, which involves essential elements such as nonverbal communication, emotions, and physical presence. The issue lies in the fact that virtual worlds are still mere imitations of reality, lacking the authenticity and depth of real-world connections. On the other hand, virtual reality and metaverses open up new possibilities for intercultural communication and interaction, erasing barriers that once existed. For instance, people from different corners of the globe can gather in a single virtual space to participate in educational courses, cultural exchanges, or professional meetings. This not only broadens the horizons of communication, but also creates unique opportunities for solving global problems, such as climate change, poverty, or even peace-building efforts. Instead of being limited by local communities and physical distances, we can unite in global virtual networks where interaction and collaboration are possible on an entirely new level. Furthermore, metaverses and virtual reality have the potential to transform business and workplace processes. Virtual offices, team meetings, conferences, and even entire enterprises can operate within virtual spaces, saving time, money, and resources. Workers can interact with one another using their avatars, and companies can conduct business negotiations and make important decisions in a safe and convenient virtual environment. This is no longer science fiction, but a reality that major tech companies and startups are beginning to implement. Such a transformation of workplace processes has the potential to change the very structure of the economy and society, as many tasks can now be performed from any location on the planet. Virtual reality and metaverses also play a significant role in the development of education. With VR, students can immerse themselves in educational simulations, travel through historical eras, explore the human body's organs, or model scientific experiments in 3D. This allows teachers and students to interact in a more engaging and productive way. Programs already exist that allow students to practice in virtual laboratories, reducing the need for expensive equipment and making education accessible to people from different parts of the world. The ability to interact virtually also helps individuals with disabilities, providing them access to educational and professional resources that might be inaccessible in real life. However, despite all the advantages of virtual reality and metaverses, several issues need to be addressed for their successful integration into society. One of these concerns is data security and privacy. Virtual worlds collect vast amounts of information about their users, including behavioral data, interests, and even emotional states. This data can become a target for malicious actors or be exploited by corporations for manipulation and advertising. Therefore, effective methods of protecting confidentiality must be developed, and ethical use of data in virtual spaces needs to be ensured. Additionally, we must consider the potential impact of virtual reality on our physical and mental health. Prolonged immersion in virtual worlds can lead to addiction, sleep disturbances, depression, and even social isolation. It is crucial that these technologies are used with caution and within the right limits to avoid negative consequences for users. Thus, virtual reality and metaverses could become an important step in the development of human communication and interaction, but only if their usage is balanced with real-life engagement and all potential risks are considered. We stand on the threshold of a new era where virtual worlds could become not only tools for entertainment, but also powerful means of expanding our perception of the world, learning, and connecting. The key is to use these technologies properly in a way that improves quality of life, rather than replacing authentic communication and interaction. Conclusion: finding the right path. The world of technology is changing every day, and the questions surrounding its impact on society are becoming increasingly relevant. Virtual reality, artificial intelligence, big data, and robotics. All of these open up new possibilities, but also new challenges. We stand at a crossroads where it is essential to find a balance between innovation and its consequences. Technology can be a powerful tool for improving quality of life, expanding horizons, and increasing efficiency, but only if its use is conscious and ethical. Finding the right path involves integrating progress into our lives in a way that serves us, not the other way around. The future of technology depends on how we, as a society, make decisions, weigh the risks, and protect the values that remain important to us in an ever-changing world.